Do you know who created the term of paper tiger?
Paper tiger.
It was Chairman Mao, even though he only knows little English. This fresh and meaningful expression spread like a wildfire. It appeared again and again in major media reports and eventually became a common term in political commentary. The American journalist Anna Louise Strong was the one who introduced the phrase to the West, and because of that, she was later nicknamed the Paper Tiger Lady. The story begins in 1946. When Strong arrived in Yan'an, she was surprised by the simple courtyard and humble houses. She even thought she had gone to the wrong place. When the interpreter told her this was Mao Zedong's residence, she was stunned. She couldn't believe that such an important leader lived in such modest conditions. Not long after, Mao returned from working in the fields with a hoe on his shoulder. He was calm and humble, dressed plainly. This scene deeply impressed Strong and made her even more interested in the upcoming interview. At that time, China was in the middle of the civil war between the communists and the nationalists. The nationalist government, backed by the United States, was oppressing the people and loudly declaring that it would wipe out the Communist Party. Most observers thought the communists didn't stand a chance. So Strong asked directly, if the war keeps going, how long can the communists hold out? Mao smiled and replied, tactically, of course, weapons are important, but from a strategic point of view, weapons are not the decisive factor. The decisive factor is the people and where their hearts stand. To help her understand better, Mao quoted former US President Calvin Coolidge, the strength of the political party depends on how close it is to the people. Mao went on to explain, look at China under the nationalist government, economic decline, corruption, the rich getting richer while the poor get poorer. The entire regime has decayed to its core. This kind of government has long lost the people's support. The illness is beyond cure. The Nationalist Party then went against public opinion and openly launched a civil war. This kind of reactionary regime, no matter how many soldiers or weapons that it has, will eventually be abandoned by the people. That's why we are not afraid of them. All reactionaries are paper tigers. Back then, there was no such phrase as paper tiger in English. The interpreter used the word scarecrow, meaning a figure placed in the fields to frighten crows. Mao felt that this wasn't accurate enough, so he smiled and explained himself.
Mr. Strong, I mean paper tiger.
Paper tiger?
Yes, paper tiger.
纸老虎, it looks like a dangerous beast, something to be feared, but in reality it's made of paper. When it gets damp, it softens. When it rains, it falls apart. At that time, the communist forces were poorly equipped compared to the nationalists, but Mao firmly believed that real strength comes from the people, and as long as they won the people's hearts, they would eventually prevail. After returning to the United States, Strong wrote a book titled The Chinese Conquered China, in which she widely spread Mao's paper tiger idea. Mao's insight was that even the strongest imperial powers and reactionary forces, if they go against the will and interests of the people, will eventually prove to be nothing more than paper tigers. That's why when Trump launched tariff wars against the whole world and take wars against China, the Chinese didn't really fear him. At its core, the Trump administration was acting against the interests of not only the American people but also the people of the world. In essence, the entire Trump administration was just a gigantic paper tiger. Follow me, an Eastern perspective to see the world.